Welcome to the show, everyone, and welcome to episode 13, the Hair, Salon, and Barbershop. Today, we are tackling a universal fear: how to ask for the haircut you actually want. I'm your host, Erika, and I am speaking from a place of deep, personal trauma. Before we get into it, a quick reminder that 99% of our listeners are not subscribed. Please subscribe now so you don't miss an episode. Let me set the scene. A few years ago, I had long hair, and I loved it. But it needed life. So I went to a new salon and uttered the 6 most dangerous words in the English language. Just a trim, whatever you think. Friends, what she thought was a triangular, chin-length bob. I smiled, paid, tipped, and cried in my car. Never again. That's why I've brought in our official style translator. Welcome to the show, Tony.
Erika, thanks for having me. I'm sorry for your traumatic triangle bob. The good news is, it is almost entirely preventable.
That's what we're here for. Let's start with our first segment, the consultation.
The consultation is everything. My #1 rule is the picture plus description method. A picture is great, but you have to explain what you like about it. Is it the length, the texture? Be the narrator for that photo.
That makes sense. Okay, what about the words that got me into trouble? What's the real difference between a trim and a cut?
A trim is purely maintenance, keeping your style and removing split ends. A cut implies a change in shape or significant length. If you say, take off 2 inches, that's a cut.
So instead of saying just a trim, I could say just dust the ends to make it clear I only want the very tips off?
Exactly. That's a perfect way to say it.
And how do you avoid the inch problem, where you say 1 inch and they cut 3?
Use your fingers. Take a piece of your hair and physically show them, I want to take off this much. It's visual and concrete.
This is also practical. But what about hair type? I have fine wavy hair and my friend has thick, coily hair. We can't get the same haircut, right?
That's a fantastic point. This is the biggest reason a haircut from a photo doesn't turn out as expected. You have to be a realist. It's crucial to add phrases about your own hair. For instance, say, I love this look, but my hair is very fine. Will we need to do something to create more volume? Or for thick hair, my hair gets really bulky. How can we adapt this cut to remove some of that weight? For curly hair, always mention how much it shrinks. I'd like the end result to be shoulder length when dry, so please be mindful of shrinkage.
Okay, this is making so much sense. I think seeing it in action would be incredibly helpful. Could we maybe do a little role-playing?
I love that idea. It's the perfect way to show the difference. Okay, you're in the chair. Let's do the bad version first. Hey, Erika, welcome in. So, what are we thinking for your hair today?
Hi, I don't know, I'm just kind of bored with it. I think I want something different. Maybe shorter, just make it look good.
Okay, shorter and good. I can do that. How about we take off a few inches, add some life to it?
A few inches, I guess. As long as it's not too short. I trust you.
And scene. Do you see the red flags?
Oh, absolutely. I said, I don't know. Shorter. And the absolute worst. I trust you. I gave the stylist a blank check.
Precisely. Now, let's reset. Let's do a good consultation.
Hey, Erika, welcome in. Before we get started, what are your goals for your hair today? What have you been liking or not liking about it recently?
Hi. So I brought a few pictures. I really love the shape of this long bob. I want to keep the length around my collarbone, but add some volume. I know my hair is finer than in this photo, so I'm worried about it looking flat.
This is perfect. Thank you for being so specific. Since your hair is finer, I'd recommend we create some internal or invisible layers to build volume without making the ends look thin. How does that sound?
That sounds amazing! And just to be sure, I'd like the length to land right about here when it's dry.
Got it. And how is it to manage day to day?
It gets oily at the roots quickly, so I need a style I can wash and wear without a ton of product.
Great. We'll make sure the style works with that. Okay, I feel confident we have a great plan. Are you ready?
Totally ready!
And scene. See the difference? It's a partnership. You are the expert on your hair, the stylist is the expert on the craft.
That's night and day. It really proves that the consultation is a collaboration. You, the client, are the expert on your hair's history and your lifestyle, and the stylist is the expert on the craft. A good consultation is where those two areas of expertise meet to create a plan. Okay, when we come back, we're diving into segment 2, the vocabulary of length. Stay with us. That role play was a game changer. I feel so much more prepared for the consultation. Now, let's get into the nitty-gritty you promised, the actual vocabulary. We've covered the basics like layers, but there are other words I hear thrown around that are still a mystery. For example, what's the difference between texturizing and thinning? What's the difference between texturizing and thinning?
Thinning is done with special shears to remove significant bulk from thick hair. Texturizing is a more subtle technique, using the scissor tips for point cutting to add movement and softness. Think thinning for less hair, texturizing for more movement.
That is so clear. What are some other structural words, like A-line or asymmetrical?
An A-line cut is shorter in the back and gets longer towards the front. Asymmetrical means the two sides are intentionally different lengths. An undercut is where the hair on top is left long while the hair underneath is buzzed short.
Fantastic. Now back to the barbershop. What's the difference between low, mid, and high fades?
A low fade starts just above the ear, it's the most conservative. A mid fade starts around the temple, it's the most popular. A high fade goes way up to the corner of the forehead and is a very bold, high contrast look.
That makes sense. And what about the numbers I hear barbers call out? Like a number 2 or a number 4?
That's the guard system on the clippers, and it's very logical. The number on the guard corresponds to the length of hair it will leave, in eighths of an inch. So a number 1 guard leaves 1/8 of an inch, a number 2 is a 1/4 inch, a 4 is a 1/2 inch, and so on. Lower number, shorter hair. It allows you to be very precise. You can also get specific about the finish. Asking to square the neckline gives a sharp, clean look at the back.
Welcome back. We're on to segment 3, feedback and the mirror. This is the scary part.
It can be, but stylists want your feedback. We'd rather you say something early.
What happens if the stylist isn't listening?
Actually, can we pause for a second? I'm feeling a bit nervous, and I need to keep the length here.
What if you go home and realize you're unhappy the next day?
It's not too late. Most salons offer complimentary adjustments within a week. Call them and say something calm like, "Hi, I had a haircut yesterday and I'm having a little trouble styling it. It seems one side is a bit heavier. Would it be possible to come in for a quick adjustment?"
That's great advice. And what about tipping?
The industry standard is 15 to 20% of the original service cost.
And we are back for our final segment, the shadowing lab. Tony, take it away.
All right, everyone, I'm going to say a phrase. After I say it, there will be a 3-second pause for you to repeat it out loud. We'll do each one 3 times. Ready? First phrase.
Just a trim, please. Keep the layers.
Again, just a trim, please. Keep the layers. Last time, with confidence. Just a trim, please. Keep the layers.
Great job.
Excellent. Now for a common barbershop request. I'd like a number 2 on the sides and scissors on top. Again, I'd like a number 2 on the sides and scissors on top. One more time. I'd like a number 2 on the sides and scissors on top.
Perfect. Let's practice one more for the salon about texture. Perfect. Let's practice one more for the salon. This time about texture and styling. This is a great phrase to use to understand how the cut will behave in the real world.
Good idea. Ready?
That roleplay was a game changer. I feel so much more prepared for the consultation. Now, let's get into the nitty-gritty you promised, the actual vocabulary. We've covered the basics like layers, but there are other words I hear thrown around that are still a mystery. For example, what's the difference between texturizing and thinning?
Could you texturize the ends so they're not so blunt?
Again, could you please texturize the ends so they're not so blunt? Last time, could you please texturize the ends so they're not so blunt? Fantastic! Remember, clarity is kindness.
To recap for everyone at home, start with a strong consultation. Know your vocabulary. And don't be afraid to speak up. A huge thank you to our guest, Tony. And thank you all for listening. May your next haircut be the one you've always dreamed of.